Iron Rattler. As Rocky Mountain Construction's, or RMC's, second hybrid conversion of a roller coaster, Iron Rattler, with its unique set of elements, was, arguably, the best roller coaster in the world when it debuted in 2013. Though, with my love for the original, I'd argue it was the best coaster in the world before that as well. However, despite the love it gets from enthusiasts, is Iron Rattler still a good coaster? And can I overcome my love for its wooden version to appreciate this RMC creation? Find out in this review. Originally, Fiesta Texas opened in 1992 with just 2 roller coasters. The Kiddie Coaster, originally called the Rollscher Coaster, and the Rattler. The Rattler opened as the tallest wooden roller coaster in the world at 179 feet with a 166-foot drop, beating out fellow Texas coaster, the Texas Giant's 137-foot drop. However, this height was achieved through poor construction and mainly to obtain the record, since everything is bigger in Texas. So significant positive G's hurt guests on the First Valley. In 1994, Fiesta Texas raised the bottom of the drop, making it only a 120-foot drop, though the record height above the ground still technically stood. I rode the Rattler when it was in this condition, and at that time, it was my favorite roller coaster that I'd been on. Still to this day, I ride roller coasters searching for the wonderful mix of feelings that I had on the Rattler, as I'm hesitant to say that any coaster has topped my love for the Rattler at that specific time in my life. The decent drop, combined with how much this coaster rattled me around, was purely magical. I remember coming off shaking from the rattle of this coaster and running back around to the queue line to experience this masterpiece again and again and again. In this wooden condition, my favorite part of the Rattler was the slow rattling turns or snake coils on top of the canyon. At the time, I greatly appreciated slower helixes and turn-focused coasters, whereas today, I find some of these elements to be not nearly as exciting. Could my memory of how great this coaster is be wrong? Absolutely. But at the time that I rode it, it was, plain and simply, the perfect roller coaster for me. However, many coaster fans don't like shakiness and roughness as a gimmick, like I do. So, very understandably, after the success of RMC's conversion of the Texas Giant into the new Texas Giant, Six Flags looked for other wooden roller coasters they could convert, with the Rattler being a prime candidate. Six Flags closed the Rattler on August 5th, 2012, before reopening it as Iron Rattler on May 25th, 2013. This was the second and last RMC to use the Gerstlauer trains. Since Iron Rattler, RMC has made their own coaster trains, though these do have shin guards and feel slightly more restrictive than the original Gerstlauer ones. That makes, even as newer and better RMC hybrid coasters come out every year, something unique and special about Iron Rattler. The station utilizes the old platform that requires walking up a narrow pathway before waiting in a big wooden station. As with many Texas-themed coasters, there's country music playing as well as a country voice to remind guests to enjoy their ride on Iron Rattler. Station ops on this ride are normally good, with quick dispatches, though I have noticed that many rows tend to get blocked off on this ride. The front row especially normally has like a 40-minute extra wait, if they allow people to queue naturally for each row. The back row sometimes doesn't get extra riders in this situation, so it is normally easy to wait for the very back row, which is my favorite, as it maximizes Iron Rattler's main element, the drop. As much as I normally love sitting in the front row, doing so actually does very little for me on this coaster, and I suggest sitting as far back as you can to maximize that first drop. The second to back row is just about as good, so don't worry if you have to sit there. Though sometimes, again, if the lines aren't too long, people are too lazy to go to the extended queue line for the very back row, so that queue might be empty compared to that second to last row. Then, you're taken through a wonderful pre-lift turn. How good of an element is this? I would rank this as the third best element on Iron Rattler. The laterals that you experience push you wonderfully to the side, and I truly wish more roller coasters focused specifically on this type of feeling. For reference, Speedy Mouse at Dreamworld is my favorite roller coaster in Thailand because of its great laterals. So I'm clearly in love with this type of feeling on a roller coaster. It's not the more elaborate pre-lifts that RMC has been adding to their coasters over the years, but I believe this is clearly one of the best. Then, you travel up the lift hill, which is incredible. You have great views of the wooden River Rapids ride to your left, along with the rest of Fiesta Texas and the canyon wall. To your right, you can try to sneak peeks of the golf course above the canyon wall, while also feeling that your height isn't too high because of the top of that wall. For the views, I rank the lift hill as my fourth favorite element on Iron Rattler. Iron Rattler's drop is considered one of the best in the world, and the unique twist combined with its sharp angle appears to make it a solid case for just this. But for me, this drop is only decent. It is nice, like most RMC drops, but just doesn't offer me anything truly special or memorable. It's just a solid, decent drop with a nice setting. My favorite drop is on the new Texas Giant. Another Gerstlauer RMC, but I just feel it's executed in a way that it gives me that drop feeling every time. Iron Rattlers just doesn't. Then, you're whisked above the water through a covering to protect you from falling rocks, before blasting up and through an overbank turn that then propels you down and through the first inversion ever on an RMC hybrid coaster. The fast speed and pacing of this section just doesn't make it super enjoyable to me. Others will likely find this fast barrage of elements fantastic, but to me, it's only decent. Then, you're on top of the Quarry Wall. On the wooden Rattler, you slowly navigated 3 helixes before descending off of the wall. On Iron Rattler, you slowly travel through only 1 lap. There are 2 really nice overbank turns that, especially for first-time riders, offer incredible sideways airtime that can truly be felt because of the slower speed. The second of which is my second favorite element on this coaster. Then you slowly go over a magical airtime hill that beautifully pops you out of your seat. This airtime is by far my favorite element on this coaster, and the one part that I think about again and again and again when trying to compare this coaster in my overall rankings. Finally, you go down a second, very solid drop off the cliff wall, which is unique having such a good drop so late in a coaster, before being blasted through the tunnel used by the original Rattler. The strength of this drop, combined with the visuals, makes it something truly special that elevates this coaster for many riders. Having an actual rock tunnel to travel through, though, is something magical and enjoyable for me. Then, unlike the original Rattler that went through some curves before the brake run, you quickly come to a stop on the brakes, ending your all-too-short trip on Iron Rattler. The fact that you can't burn off some speed through smaller RMC elements here makes me really sad, as anything to add length at this point would significantly improve this coaster. Others will praise the abrupt ending of this ride as doing a good job with pacing, but I'd much prefer length and quality over this barrage of pacing. So I can't get over how short this makes the overall ride feel. Overall, how good is Iron Rattler? Many will list this as one of the top coasters that they've been on, though many newer coasters have a solid claim of passing it. I enjoy Iron Rattler, but with my heart longing for a different and better version, it is just hard for me to overlook what I consider to be flaws, especially that it feels way too short. I also hold this coaster to the highest of standards, as if it is not close to or the best coaster in the world, then I view it as a disappointment, which I know are not realistic standards unless we're talking about steel engines. But for me, I view this as a prime candidate to be the best in the world, and I come off disappointed when it is only very good to great. I do place it above other RMC coasters that I've ridden, such as the much-loved Iron Gwazi and Twisted Cyclone, as Iron Rattler's airtime hill and drops deliver a little bit more than elements on those other RMCs. But I still have it below two fellow San Antonio area coasters, Switchback as a magical and well-executed family coaster, and my number one coaster, the Steel Eel, for its magical airtime over its various hills. Iron Rattler is a great experience, and for the time it was built, a truly special coaster. My heart will just always long for it to be absolutely perfect and not just great like it is. What are your thoughts on Iron Rattler? How highly do you rank it in your coaster rankings? Do you miss the original wooden Rattler as much as I do? Let me know, and as always, Kapkun Krap.